Hey guys, and welcome to the Random Watch Dude channel. Thanks for joining me for another video. My name's Mark, and basically what I do here, guys, if you haven't watched any of my videos before, is I'm just a random watch guy, watch dude, and I just basically make a video log about my journey in the watch hobby, I suppose you could say. It's been very varied. I've got a new subject I wanted to talk to you about today. Bit of a dark subject, really, if I'm honest with you. Bit of a dark subject, but it's one I've touched on in the past. I made a video quite recently about being very careful about scammers, because quite recently I'd noticed, particularly here in New Zealand, and I think it's the same in Australia, there's been an awful lot of watch scamming going on online. And what I mean by that is, and I'll give you a really good example of instances I've seen in the past, but in this video I actually want to talk to you about an instance which happened just this weekend, and it's a really good example of things that I just want you guys to be aware of, because I very nearly got caught out. I very nearly got scammed just this last weekend, and I want to kind of just talk through it and show you what happened. But typically, and actually before I go on to typically, let's talk about what we're wearing today. So today I'm wearing a Rolex Datejust 36. This is the palm motif dial. Let me just see if I can get a bit closer there for you. This is the palm motif dial. I got this watch just at the end of November 2023. From one of my local authorised dealers here. Lovely watch. I've got it on the Jubilee bracelet, as you can see, and I've got the smooth bezel variety of this. I much prefer the smooth bezel on a Datejust to the fluted bezel. The fluted bezel is just a little bit too busy for me. You know, being a bit of a sort of a plain, boring grey kind of guy, you know, the fluted bezel was just a bit too blingy and flashy. So I've gone for the little bit of bling on the bracelet and the boring domed bezel, and I really like it. I think it's got a kind of a nice, elegant yet sporty kind of vibe going on there. So there you go, that's what I'm wearing today. So just going back to the whole hacking and scamming thing, and look guys, how does it work? Okay, so you're looking for a watch on a online platform. Okay, let's say it's eBay. Here in New Zealand it's called Trade Me. It's kind of the direct equivalent, the same, exactly the same type of platform where private people put their watches up for sale as an auction, or you can have it as a buy now, and there's also a make and offer function on that. It's very similar to eBay. So what typically happens, guys, when you get scammed is that typically some nasty phantom, as I'm going to call them, because they lurk in the shadows waiting to pounce. They're a phantom menace, you could say. A phantom menace will hack into an existing member's account. Now, don't ask me how they do that. I don't know, but obviously they need access to your password. They've somehow got hold of your password. The phantom menace, the hacker, has got hold of your password, or somebody's password, and they've hacked into that account. They've taken over that person's account. And then what they do is, very cleverly, they copy and paste. Typically they copy and paste a really nice watch that's for sale. They might pinch it off of Chrono24 or off of eBay, and it will be a lovely full set box and papers, you know, a couple of years old, usually a very popular watch, like let's say a Rolex Submariner, or an Omega Seamaster, or an Omega Speedmaster. And I'm using the Speedmaster as an example now because that's what I saw just this weekend. What they'll do is they'll copy and paste that really nice example of a genuine sale into the hacked account, and they'll put that up. And what they'll typically do is they'll put it up for a very low price. Now, the reason they put it up for a very low price, guys, is because they want you to see that auction and go, wow, that's a good price, and what a fantastic watch. It's box and papers, and it's got a really good, nice, thorough description. I'm going to buy that before somebody else does. And before you know it, guys, you've put your money down. You've made the transfer online. The phantom menace has taken your money, and that's the last time you will hear from them. They disappear back into the shadows. You've lost your money, and guess what, guys? No watch. So you've been scammed. The phantom disappears. So I'm going to give you an example, guys, because I talked about this in a recent video, but I wasn't actually nearly a victim of this, but I saw how I could have become a victim of this. And I'm going to give you an example. At the weekend, I was on Trade Me, which is our local site here, you know, the New Zealand equivalent of eBay. And look, this lovely full set, and I'll put some images up here somewhere. a lovely full set Omega Speedmaster came up for sale. It was a 2015 model, full set, like I say. You could see that the warranty card said Watches of Switzerland. So yeah, good, a very reputable authorised dealer to deal with. Watches of Switzerland in the UK. So I thought, okay, yeah, that's got a good solid heritage, that watch. And there was a lovely long description of the watch, you know, about where the owner got it from and how long they've had it, and you know, all sorts of really nice pieces of information about that watch that you'd expect a good honest seller of an honest watch to put into the description. And I thought, well, that's interesting. But the buy now was a bit low. There was a buy it now option, and it was 7,000 New Zealand dollars, which is about £3,500. Let's say 4,000, just over 4,000 US. And I thought, you know what, that's probably a grand or two. Excuse me, I'm being attacked by mozzies here. That's probably a grand or two lower than I'd expect it to be up for as a buy now. So I thought, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll ask the seller a question. And this is typically what I do, guys. The first thing I do, if I'm interested in a watch, even if I think I know all the answers, I will ask the seller a question just to really test the water, just to make sure that this is a genuine seller, because the question I ask obviously can't be copied and pasted from somewhere else. So I asked the question, are you the first owner? And has the watch been serviced? So very, very simple questions, should be very simple to answer. Now they came back pretty quickly actually, but as soon as they came back with the answer, I was concerned. The reason I was concerned is because the answer that they came back with, the grammar that they used, and even just the length of the answer did not correlate with the description of the watch. In other words, I could see that the description of the watch and the way it was written, the grammar that was used, it was very eloquent and detailed. It did not correlate with the answer I got to the question, because the answer I got to the question was, I am, which was obviously the answer to the are you the first owner bit of my question. Literally, they just said in 2 words, I am, full stop. I didn't service it. In other words, I haven't serviced it, but they said I didn't service it. Full stop, runs just fine, full stop. So I didn't service it, runs just fine. That was the answer to my question of are you the first owner and have you serviced it? Now, typically, guys, when English isn't somebody's first language, that's the kind of answer you might expect to get. But it just didn't stack up at all with the description. So basically what I'm saying here, guys, is the person who wrote the description of that watch telling me that they owned the watch was not the same person that answered the question. Very, very, very different. So that got me really concerned, guys. I thought, no, I'm not going to buy this watch. This doesn't smell right to me. So I thought, look, I think this is a scammer. I just knew immediately. I think this is a scammer. So I'm going to ask another question. And I went back and I said, okay, so have you had it groomed? And I just left it at that. Have you had it groomed? Because it looks like it was in really, really nice condition. Now, I also, whilst I was doing this, I was looking at the feedback for the seller, and I was looking at the seller's profile. And if you remember in a previous video about scamming, I said, check out the seller's profile. Where are they from? How many trades have they had? And what's their feedback percentage? Now, the feedback percentage on this seller was very good. It was 100% from 36 trades. And you kind of think, well, that's good. Okay, this is a good, honest trader who's not had any trouble in the past. But then I thought, well, let's have a look at the actual feedback, because you can actually drill into the history of the feedback. And I've said this in a previous video, is make sure that when you're looking to maybe put down 5, 10, 15 grand on a watch with somebody that you haven't met before and you're not likely to meet, in other words, you're going to rely on them posting you that watch honestly after they've got your money. Have a look at their trade history. Make sure that what they've sold in the past kind of makes sense, that they'd be now selling quite an expensive luxury watch. And of course, when I checked out this seller's previous trade history, well, no, they were very, very good, honest seller, but they weren't a watch dude or watch lady, should I say, as well, just to be fair to the opposite sex, the fairer sex. They weren't a watch lady or a watch dude. So I was thinking to myself, well, they're selling $2 items and $5 items, and they're basically buying and selling very, very cheap items. I think it was in relation to the to the textiles. They obviously had an interest in textiles, and I thought, this is not a watch person. This is just not a watch person's trade history. So at that point, guys, I knew that I was dealing with a scammer. And to cut a long story short, another thing I've always said is sleep on it. I slept on it, I woke up the next morning, and lo and behold, the actual seller, the real genuine owner of that account, who'd obviously seen, you know, that their account had been hacked, posted a quick answer to the questions that I'd put up to say, I'm ever so sorry, I don't know what's going on here, this is not my sale, my account's been hacked. And that was the end of the story, basically. So, you know, there you go, guys. This is a really good example of how the scamming process works and how easy it is. Even that scammer actually even had the balls, basically, to answer a question, and you know, because they really wanted to basically steal my money off of me and lie to me. You know, another person who wasn't really kind of familiar with the way scamming and hacking works may have just pushed the button on buy now and bought that watch, and they would have put down their $7,000 because it was a very good price for a very good watch. And guys, that would have been a very sad ending to a very sad story. So just using this as an example of how I saw this firsthand at the weekend. And then the crazy thing was, guys, just to finish this video off, is a friend of mine, a watch friend of mine, messaged me on Sunday morning and said, "Hey Mark, there's a Speedmaster for sale on Trade Me. What do you think?" In other words, I'm interested in this. You know, could you take a look and tell me what you think? And as soon as I saw it, guys, I mean, I'll put another image up here of it. This was a newer Seamaster. I think this was only a couple of years old. Now that watch ought to be trading for, I don't know, 11,000 New Zealand dollars, and it was up for about 7. And so instantly I thought, well, that's a scam, clearly, because anybody that owns that watch knows that it's worth 10 or 11 grand, and they've put it up for 7 as a buy now. So I messaged him very quickly to say, it's a scam, you know, forget it. And then when I drilled deeper into it, I could see, absolutely, yeah, this is another scam. It was I think this one was a full set, box and papers. This one was from a very reputable AD in Honolulu, Hawaii. So, yep, nice, honest, genuine North American AD. Full set, box and papers, at a fantastic price. How could you possibly not impulse buy that watch? And this is how it works, guys. Now, that auction got taken down very quickly once a couple of us, you know, pinged. I actually sent I reported it basically to Trade Me, and it got taken down. But these scams, guys, they're coming up all the time. So the moral of this story is be very, very careful, ask questions. If something looks too good to be true, it is. Absolutely, in the luxury watch world, guys, if a price looks too good to be true for a watch, it is. It's a scam. There are so many of them out there. The whole online, particularly private sale, the whole online private sale business is riddled with scammers. My suggestion is, and I'm going to try and finish this on a positive for you, my suggestion is, guys, if you want to buy a watch privately, and you have to buy it online, and there are many, many reasons why you must buy it online, and one of them is you might live in a remote region somewhere in the world, and you just can't get access to the kinds of watches that you're after, and you have to buy them online and trust people to send you the watch after you've paid them. Go to Chrono24, guys. It is absolutely the most secure platform that I've bought watches from by quite a country mile, actually. I know eBay has the authentication service, but that's an additional cost. But the Chrono24 escrow service is brilliant. It does exactly what it says. Chrono24 hang on to the money until you've received the watch, and they don't let the seller who's posted you that watch have your money until you confirm with Chrono24 that you've received the watch and you're happy with it. You can't go wrong, guys, with Chrono24. And by the way, they're not paying me or sponsoring me, and don't even know that I'm making this video telling you all how good Chrono24 is. But that's what I firmly believe. It's a great platform. And just to let you into a little secret, I've just bought a watch off of Chrono24 as well, so which is arriving next week. So look forward to showing you a little video on that too. But in the meantime, I will make a video on the buying process that I went through to buy that watch, and I'll probably do that over the next day or two. So there's the end of the video, guys. Yeah, look, just be very, very careful out there. The world, unfortunately, is full of nasty, mean people that want to take your money off of you, and it's just really sad, isn't it? But that's the way it is. Be careful, look after yourselves, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.